All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
I think we are live.
We are, I hope.
Yes, indeed. And I think for us to confirm that we are live, chat, if you are able to listen to us, if you're able to see us, please comment on the live stream, say hi, say yes, put some emojis so that we can understand that we are actually live and we are not just talking to ourselves. Right, Edo?
Yeah, like we see you. Like I see you. The hashtag I see you.
Exactly. I mean, it's wonderful. It's been a while for me that I've done live streams. I remember I used to do a lot of live streams back in like COVID days, but I'm very happy to be back on the live streams. And we did some live streams with Storyblok, I think 2022, 2023. But yeah, how about you? Is this your live stream after a while?
Yeah, after a while, after the summer, I took a summer break from live streams, but live streams in my like personal channels. And I don't usually do live streams in English. So I think it's a first for me, like live streaming in English. So yeah, I hope everything will be all right.
Nice. No, of course. And I can see the chat already saying and hearing us and letting us know that yes, they are able to see us. Thank you so
Nice.
much. Quick question for the chat. Where are you all joining from? Like which part of the world? You can let us know about the city, the state, the country that you are tuning in from for this opening remarks live stream. But while you say us in the chat, maybe I can start and I can also quickly introduce myself and then Edo, you can.
Hmm.
Uh, everyone, myself, Sudha Dalwal. I work as a deaf community specialist at Storyblok. I'm tuning in from Vadodara, India, and looking forward to see all the exciting things that we come up with in this opening remarks. But Edo, over to you, over here.
Yeah, me. I'm Edo or Edoardo. I'm a senior dev at Storyblok, and I'm streaming from Bologna, Italy. So I will also be your mentor during this hackathon. So looking forward to see your wonderful projects and what you will build during this month. And I hope I will also be helpful to you. So I have some experience with Storyblok, so I hope I will be also helpful in bringing your projects to life.
Nice, that is awesome. I see Alistair is joining from Dundee, Scotland. I see Midnight Raymond joining from New York, US, which is great.
Yep.
Uh, Hi Rick, hi Jeremiah, hi Alistair. Hi, Stefano. A lot of people here already in the chat. And if you're watching the recording, maybe later in your time zone, hi, and welcome to the stream as well. Cool. This is great already. I am loving the energy in the chat. Please keep on bringing those energy. Keep on, putting in all those comments and emojis just to hype us while we share and proceed with the opening remarks. So, with that being said, Edo, are we ready to take on the stage with the opening remarks for this hackathon?
Absolutely.
Awesome, then let me quickly bring up our slides because we have a bunch of information that we would like to share with you all. But yes, as some of you are already aware, we are here at Storyblok Code and Coffee Hackathon 2025, and it's a month-long innovation sprint. I mean, I know. Have you ever heard about a month-long hackathon?
No, no. Honestly, this is a first.
Nice, because this is going to be super interesting. Like, I know people have been participating in like a weekend long hackathon, 36 hours hackathon, a week long hackathon. But this is going to be a month-long hackathon, which I'm very much, curious to see the results of. And one reason why
Because everyone is going to submit their project on the very last day.
that goes without saying. I mean, that's definitely that can happen. There's a huge possibility. But one reason that I'm excited for this month-long hackathon is that many times I've heard participants or hackers talking about, oh, we had so much less time that we couldn't, complete the project or our idea. But having an opportunity to build or work on your problem statements or ideas for like a month long is going to be insane, which I am super excited to see the results of. So let's see how that goes. I think we can get started on what we have in store. But before that, in case you haven't joined the hackathon yet, this is your moment. I know some of you might have registered, even formed a team of yourself, but in case you haven't, make sure you go to our dev post page. I can also share with you the link in the chat so that you can click on it. But also, if you cannot, you can just scan this QR code that's going live in front of you and get yourself registered. You can just join in the hackathon. You can either participate solo or you can form a team of up to maximum 3 members. So you can bring like two of your developer friends and participate with them. All you need to do is once you're done with the dev post registrations, sign up for a free Storyblok account. Yes, it's free, so you do not need to pay anything. Join the Storyblok Discord server and start brainstorming on ideas and how you can use Storyblok. But how we're gonna do that, what are the different stages, how we can help you, help yourself, we will share that just in a bit. But talking about that, aren't we missing something, Edo?
Maybe a person.
Maybe a person, right? That's true. Because the name of the hackathon is Storyblock Cross Code and Coffee. And with that being said, I think we shouldn't forget one person that should be here on the live stream, which is Steve Chen. So let me quickly invite him, and everyone can give a round of applause to Steve, like a virtual drum rolls or something. And let's have him on the stage here in three, two, and one. Steve, here we go.
Hello.
Hello, hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Yeah, it's super excited to be here. Steve Chen, Executive Director of Code Coffee. And yeah, I have not been more excited in our 4 years of doing this.
Nice, that's really wonderful. Thank you so much for that grand, arrival of yours.
I gotta hype up the
Lovely,
virtual, the virtual events.
for sure, for sure. I mean, now that you're here, I am super excited, along with Edo and all the community members that are tuning in, to hear more from you about maybe your introduction, about Code and Coffee, what you
Definitely.
do, and everything exciting things that you're doing.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Chen, Executive Director and founder of Code and Coffee. Code and Coffee, we are just for the people from Storyblok, we are a community-led slash volunteer-led 100% meetup run by developers for developers in over 40 cities across North America. Initially, all started with New York and then expanded to 40 more cities over the past 40 years. And we're coming up on our fourth anniversary this week. So we could not be more than ecstatic to be working with you guys on this hackathon and seeing all these cool projects.
Absolutely. And you recently also did the 4 years anniversary meetup. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It was amazing time spending a couple hours with Joseph and Daniel. Joseph's marketing and Daniel's the DevRel at Storyblok. We had a ton of pizza. We like with a lot of developer meetups, ton left over, but at the same time, it was an amazing time with LaCroix, drinks, presentations, all that fun stuff.
Indeed, indeed. Perfect. Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing that introduction about Code and Coffee. Talking about hackathon in general, what are your thoughts on this hackathon that we are coming up with?
Yeah, we've been hearing the feedback from all of Code and Coffee basically ever since the beginning of time that hey, I want I want a hackathon here. I want a hackathon here. Sort of like how Code and Coffee started. Um, but at the same time, you know, we're a completely nonprofit like organization where we just don't necessarily have the funds or even the experience to run a hackathon. But amazing folks from Storyblok, like you said, and Edo, just amazing folks to work with. And yeah, I think initially it started with Joseph reaching out, and I was like, well, could we do a hackathon? And he's like, let's do it. And next thing you know, September 2025, we're here, we're kicking this off, and yeah, more than ecstatic.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm super happy to bring this hackathon to life with you for sure. And I can see Edo being super busy with the chat there. Edo, keep us posted. What's happening?
Yeah, sorry, we were talking about Code and Coffee around the world because apparently in England it would be Code and Tea. So you would need to adjust the branding a bit if you
Yeah.
move to England.
Teas and tech, teas
Yeah,
and
oh, teas and tech. In Italy, it
yeah,
would be code and cappuccino, but you may also you might also code before 11 a.m. in the morning.
it is.
Yeah,
Sometimes some of our chapters are
A lot of
very
rules, a lot of rules.
yeah. Maybe in a parallel universe, it's code and beverages. You never know.
Yeah.
Cool, perfect. Well, thank you so much, Edo and Steve. What do we have next in store for you all? Algolia, yes, you must have already noticed on our live stream there would be an Algolia logo on the top right. And why do we have that here? Because Algolia is joining as one of the sponsors for this hackathon. They've been generous enough to reach out and let us know that, hey, we'd be happy to collaborate, and we're excited to have them as well. So, who do we have from Algolia joining us? We have Chuck Mayer, and while he is sipping some coffee and relaxing on his PTO, being out of office today, but he was definitely having you all in his mind. And he has shared a wonderful video that I'm going to play in just few seconds so that you can hear everything that he has to share about the hackathon, about what they are bringing as an opportunity, and how you can make the most out of it. So maybe it's time I can bring that up. So listen straight from Chuck in three, two, one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chuck Meyer, and I'm Senior Manager of Developer Relations at Algolia. And I want to thank Storyblok and Code and Coffee for allowing us to be part of this year's hackathon. For those who don't know Algolia, we provide a set of hosted APIs that allow developers like yourselves to quickly incorporate search and discovery into your web and mobile applications. We have a generous build tier that provides you with 1 million records and 10,000 search operations a month for free and access to many of our advanced features. So this would allow you to do things like crawl your content from the front end using the Algolia crawler. You can integrate directly into your Storyblok Premium account using the Algolia app. We also have APIs for content ingestion. Once you have your content into an index, you can configure facets, you configure ranking, incorporate dynamic ranking, and then use our front-end libraries to quickly add search boxes, instant search experiences, autocomplete, and even question answering and generative AI into your application. So we are delighted to sponsor a stretch goal for this hackathon. For the team with the most innovative use of our AI-powered search, we are going to be offering $500 per team member. So what do we mean by innovative? Well, we want you to think outside the search box. Algolia has recently released a number of AI-powered features that we think make for compelling, what we call discovery experiences of your content. So think of things like being able to provide recommendations based on a post or a piece of content that you've surfaced to your user, or even the image associated with that content through our Looking Similar models. We provide question answering capabilities through our Ask AI. So you can push your content into a model and then be able to ask it for questions about, how do I solve this problem? When is this course next offered? Things of that nature. We also provide our Agent Studio, which is currently in beta, that actually allow you to use your indices as a memory layer to build RAG-like experiences. So you can use Agent Studio to allow your ChatGPT LLM to extract data out of an index and use that for some sort of chat-based interaction. Um, Again, question answering, any number of different things, content summarization. There's a lot you can do. And we really want to see what sort of innovations you can bring to the table. So I'm very excited to see what you can build with Storyblok and Algolia. I myself am going to be hanging out on the Storyblok Discord for the month. Be glad to answer your questions, to sort of go over ideas with you, maybe point you towards features, whatever you need. And then we'll be judging at the end of the hackathon and selecting the most innovative user of Algolia AI search. So thanks again. Have a great hackathon, and I'm looking forward to seeing you online. Bye.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much, Chuck, for sharing all your thoughts around whatever you're bringing with Algolia. And thanks for also saying that you'll be sticking around on Discord. And for our listeners, for our community members and hackers, we have a dedicated Algolia channel on our Discord as well, where you can always reach out to Chuck and let him know if you have any questions, if you need any support, or any advice around the use case of Algolia that you are doing in your project. Well, what do we have next in the store? The hackathon timeline. Now that we have already gotten to know more about what this hackathon is about Code and Coffee, Algolia, I think let's talk about the timeline. Uh, you might be wondering, because it's a month-long hackathon, is this that the registrations are over, because the hackathon has already started? So let me make it super clear. No, it's not like that. The hackathon ends on September 30, and also, as I mentioned, that one thing that he thinks could happen is that people will end up submitting the projects in the very last moment. Well, not just projects, you can also end up submitting an application in the very last moment. Well, but why do we want ourselves to be, on our toes? Well, with that being said, applications are live on DevPush already, and you can still participate. You can still register. So, in case you have missed inviting a team member or having registered yourself, this is your time. It will be open until September 30, so you can register until last moment. But why to wait for the end moment when you can do it right away? But the hacking has officially begun. So, in case you wanna save up on your time, the clock has already started and it's running TikTok. So maybe you wanna start brainstorming, start thinking about what you're gonna submit. Hacking will end on September 30, same as the application deadline. And the next 10 days will proceed with some rigorous judging. We'll go through all your submissions, the code, the projects, all the things that you have shared with us, and we announce the winners on 14th of October. So that's like the overall timeline that you really should bookmark on your calendars, and let your team members know as well, so that you can stick to the timeline and make sure you do not miss out on any important stuff. Next up is problem statements. Well, we have some direction that we would like to, put you in, and maybe I can start with the first two that I have for you all. Combine the power of Storyblok and AI. Now, what do we mean by that? With AI, the era of AI, and so many new tools and new resources coming up, we also would like to take this opportunity and let you know that how you can explore or how you can leverage the power of AI, maybe combine it with the capabilities and the functionalities of Storyblok and deliver something exceptional, something smarter, something that gives others or yourself better content experience. So this is your opportunity to try out crazy things with AI, come up with more possibilities, and kind of integrate it or combine its powers or functionalities with Storyblok in general as well. So that's like the first problem statement that we have. Think of ideas, think of possibilities, and try to bring it to life. Second is building better content accessibility tools. I think this goes without saying that how important is accessibility in so many ways. And we would like to take this hackathon as an opportunity to let you support content creators and people with any other roles as well in making more accessible, more inclusive content directly within Storyblok. So think of ideas with which you can make life easier for everyone and make it accessible for others who are using it. But there are a few more. So maybe I'll pass on this baton to Edo to talk about the next two problem statements.
Okay. So the next one is enhance dev workflows with the new Storyblok CLI. So you may know that a few months ago we released our new CLI. Means that you have a tool in your command line that you can use to manage your Storyblok space. So to manage content and manage your instance. That means that you have commands that you can invoke, and from the command line you can update components, you can push new components, you can update the schema of your components, you can migrate from other systems, other CMSs. So in this statement, in this problem statement, we ask you to think of the creative ways in which you can use this CLI. So imagine the workflows that you can create, imagine how you can use this to improve our developer experience. So use these tools in the best way you can possibly think of with your use case and some new scenario that you may come up with. Okay, and there's the new one is the bring live preview to React Native. And if you know how React Native works, you know that there's a native part that runs on your device, and there's the JavaScript part. And the problem here is if you're developing a Storyblok website, you're connecting with it via the API, or probably via an SDK, via a JavaScript library. So you're using the JavaScript layer to communicate with Storyblok. We want to have live preview. So we want your editors to see live updates in your mobile phone using the live preview feature. So you need to find a clever way to connect a React Native app using the JavaScript layer to the visual editor in Storyblok. And this is not an easy problem statement, I may say, but it's also challenging and rewarding. So if you want to work with this, I would also be happy to see your clever solutions to these problems. I think the next one could be on Steve.
Yeah, last but not least, the Open Track Innovation Playground. Basically, what this amazing prize is, well, sort of problem statement, is that you can build almost anything, sort of like how Storyblok already is. It's a headless CMS. I'm looking at all the use cases on their website right now, and it doesn't end. E-commerce website, kiosks, mobile apps, you name it, you can probably build it with Storyblok. But yeah, don't take my word for it. Check out Storyblok.
Awesome. Thank you, both of you, for sharing your two piece of sense here. And yes, as Ed and Steve rightly mentioned, just talking about the open track. So if you are trying to build around any of the first four problem statements, well, feel free to. You can also participate with more than one problem statement. Let's say you're also using AI. At the same time, you're also building a content accessibility tool. So you this way participate in more than one problem statement. And if you decide to not choose any of the first four, you can still choose the open track, because we don't want yourselves to be limited just to these problem statements that we have mentioned, and you can come up with anything that you feel like building. But the crux should be that you use anything around Storyblok and keep it as a center for your project. Well, that was about the problem statement. Let's see what do we have next in the slide. Mentorship forum, and I can already see a few questions in the chat asking, how do we do this, or what do we do with a specific technology, how do we make content accessible tools, XYZ. Well, these are all our valid questions, and I encourage you all to join our Discord and put all of those questions or anything that comes up on your mind which confuses you or you need better clarity with on our mentorship forum. So if you see here, we have this dedicated forum where you can actually post your questions. How do you do that? These are like few simple steps. First, very important, because there will be multiple people asking different questions. It would be good for you to kind of check out previously asked questions. Maybe someone have asked it in the forum already, and you might want to just check out the response from our mentors there. If you couldn't find the questions that you're looking for, it's your time to just click on the new post button and create a new post. describe your problem and query as detailed as possible so that it allows our mentors to understand where you're coming from or what's definitely like that one need that you are looking for. Next, fourth step, add relevant tags. Now you can add tags to this forum. It can be a CLI, it can be for the content accessibility, it can be for a specific framework or anything. If you feel like there's a missing tag, you can just request for a new tag by coming onto this post that we have here and just letting me know. You can tag me directly and tell me that, hey, Sid, we need this tag, and you can add that. The reason we ask you to add the tag is that you can filter all the questions using that tag. And once you are done and once you have posted your query, wait for a mentor to get back to you so that they can, help you with solutions, maybe do some of their own research, a little brainstorm before answering to you or getting back to you. So I highly encourage you to check this out. And if you haven't joined our Discord yet, make sure you join that as well. Cool. I think, which brings me to the new point or the next point, which is mentorship hours. Now, because it's a month-long hackathon, it's going to be long. I mean, seriously. But we want to make sure that we stay in touch with you. And when I say we, I mean the mentors that are participating in this hackathon to make life easier for all the participants. We'll be hosting mentorship hours every Tuesday on our Discord server at 11 a.m. EST, which is also 5 p.m. CET, and 8:30 p.m. IST. So you might want to mark these durations on your calendars so that you can not miss out all these mentorship hours that we are bringing up in. But talking about the mentorship hour, what are we going to do in that? Edo, anything that comes up in your mind when you hear mentorship hours? How do you think our hackers can leverage this?
So I think during these hours, you can like uh, share with us some of your ideas or your challenges, or you can use our experience with Storyblok uh, to better understand some of the foundations of Storyblok, some of the API, some of the SDK or tools around the product itself. But I think that the most important thing, since we are that like talking about a hackathon, so you need to be creative, you need to be innovative, is share your ideas and try to get some feedback from us. Try to see if your idea is valid, if maybe it's a little bit too challenging, if we see that maybe a little bit too challenging for a hackathon, or if we can find a way for you to implement it during the month that is the duration of the hackathon. So really use us as validators for your creative ideas. And of course, if you have any questions on how to use a specific Storyblok feature, or is there maybe an integration that you can already use to um, to improve your project, your idea, your app? Maybe we know that you can use something, and we can point you in the right direction. So I think this is mostly how you can use your mentorship hours. What do you think, Sid?
No, absolutely. I think I fully agree with you. And that's something that every hacker should keep in mind while you're being part of this mentorship hours as well. As you can see on the screen as well, we've added like few pointers just for your reference on how you can leverage these mentorship hours depending on what stage you are in your hackathon journey. Of course, you can start by validating your ideas. What's the problem statement that you're trying to solve, trying to understand or gather feedbacks on your approach or the tech stack that you're using. You can ask questions around if you are using Storyblock or integrating it in the right way or not. If you are having any blocker, you can use this time to get those unblocked early. You do not wait for the last moment and ask for like quick fixes. You can ask for like polished advice or like final feedback before you actually submit your hackathon projects. But having said that, Steve, I'm sure you have been part of like various hackathon communities in the past as well. What would be that piece of advice that you'd like to give our hackers out there when it comes to
Yeah,
mentorship?
definitely. I've been to many in-person hackathons, sort of with the theme of Code and Coffee. And I think one of the thing you folks listening might be missing is like a lot of in-person hackathons, they don't have the resources to host office hour mentorship hours with people and get them on blog. I think this is one of the most valuable parts of this hackathon. And if you're looking to win, definitely try to attend these mentorship hours to really make sure that you are holding yourself accountable. But then you're also, getting that problem, that blocker out of your mind into sort of the ears of experienced developers like Sid and Edo and the other DevRel mentors, so that you can actually get unblocked and make sure you maintain that momentum, because next thing you know, it's September 30th, right around the corner, and you got to submit that finished product.
Exactly, totally. Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing your advice there. And for you to recognize who all are joining us as a mentor, we have a bunch of amazing mentors that are part of this hackathon, and you might have seen them in the chat as well, but you'll see them on our Discord. They are our wonderful ambassadors. Of course, there will be me, Edo, and Daniel from Storyblok team, but then we have some of our coolest ambassadors soon to be shifted to new programs. No surprises there. But we have Devs, Lucas, Rick, Rob, Samuel, and Stefano joining us for this month-long hackathon. So don't forget to say hi to them. They have already sent their introductions in the Mentorship Forum channel. I can quickly go back here. And if you see, there's this post which is pinned on the forum, which is Know Your Mentors. So make sure you check this post out because all our mentors have sent their introductions in this channel. This way you'll be able to identify who they are, how they can actually help you with. So let's say if you have a specific doubt around a specific technology and you know this mentor can help you with that, you can directly reach out to them in this mentorship forum while you create a new post. So you can check this out, and these are all our wonderful mentors. A huge shout out to them. If you are here in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in, and looking forward to see you in the mentorship hours interacting with them as well. Perfect. What do we have next? Of course, we need some learning, Edo. We want people to learn and explore something around Storyblok because that's the crux. What do we have in store?
So in this workshop, if you're new to Storyblok and you want to understand some of the basics, I will try to guide you in an overview of the product. So you will discover how the product works, and in particular, the API, because you will build something on top of Storyblok, so you will integrate with Storyblok. So you want to understand how the API of Storyblok works. And we will talk about the content delivery API, which is how you fetch content from Storyblok, basically, and the management API, that are how you manage content. So you create, put new content, or like edit content in Storyblok. And we will also talk about the open source ecosystem of libraries around Storyblok. So it's really an overview of the product and all you can do with the product and all the tools that you have to interact with the product. So I highly suggest you to join the Storyblok if you're new to Storyblok, or if you just want a refresh of all the capabilities that the product has and everything that's around it. So that's it.
Fantastic. And Edo and Daniel both are going to be live next week, right on Monday, exactly the same day and exactly the same time
Yep.
on Storyblog YouTube channel. So in case you haven't, the live stream is already scheduled. So if you go to the channel, you can find it under the live tab. So you can like turn on the notification, save the link, will be added to your calendar as well. So don't forget to tune in next week at same time to hear more from Edo and Daniel and make the most out of your Storyblok possibilities. Cool, perfect. Well, with that being said, we also have something super cool, and we would love to engage with you all. We would love to talk to you, hear more from all the amazing hackers that we have joining throughout the month. And that is why we have Hacker Hangouts as well. Now, this will again happen every week, just like mentorship hours, which will happen on Tuesdays. The Hacker Hangouts will happen on some of the other days, which could be the Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending on different weeks and different availabilities. But these are the scheduled Hacker Hangouts that we have so far. We can, of course, change the time according to the feedback that we receive, according to the availability of different hackers. So feel free to always send in your suggestions. But for now, the scheduled timings are on September 5th and 17th, we're going to do it at 11 a.m. EST, same time again as today. On September 11th and 25th, we are going to do it at 1:30 p.m. EST. So tune in for the Hacker Hangouts, and I think this is going to be super interesting because, as Steve also mentioned, usually at in-person hackathons, you all are like sitting in a common room, and you get to interact with each other, like having a coffee together or something like that. But in a virtual hackathon, it's a bit trickier. You can of course chat with everyone, but the essence is to get more on a personal connection. Share your ideas, let everyone know who you are, and just get to share your voice with others during the hackathon as well. So I think this is going to be super interesting. I'll be tuning in most of the hacker hangouts, and I would love to interact with you. I'd love to hear about who you are, where you're coming from, your experience, what are you doing right now, or maybe just hang out, maybe just play some games and chill, or anything random. There's no set agenda here. The agenda is something that you will be setting for yourself, more consider it more like an unconference style. So you are the owners of this, and you are going to be the ones who are like leading the hacker hangouts right here. So I'm looking forward to interact with all of you in this hacker hangouts soon. Cool. Moving on to the prizes. I mean, things are getting more interesting as we go ahead in the opening remarks. But we have a bunch of cool prizes that we would like to share with all our community members there. Of course, starting with the top three prizes for the hackathon, which is for the winning team, first runners-up team, and second runners-up team. We're giving away cash prizes of $2,000, $1,500, and $1,000 respectively. Not to forget special mention and feature on Storyblok's channels for all the winning teams as well. But apart from that, I'll skip the Joy-Con NYC and quickly jump onto the content delivery with Algolia price category first. For everyone, as you heard from Chuck as well in the beginning, if we are using Algolia in the most innovative way, and if we are using the AI-powered search and making the most innovative project, you can win a $500 Amazon gift card for every team member of your team. So if you have like one member team, you win 500. If you have two member, you get like $1,000, 500 each. And if you have like three members, which is the maximum, you get $1,500, 500 each. But last but not the least, like the highlight. I mean, if
Yes.
I were a hacker, I would not miss this for sure. And that's
Yeah.
Joy-Con and the Spirit Award. Steve, would you like to share something around that?
Yeah, definitely. This is basically the prize category that Code Coffee and myself super excited about. Basically, one US-based team of three max will be flown out to NYC, have an invitation to attend JoyConf on November 4th, and also attend this Code Coffee meetup that Sunday on November 2nd. You'll have an opportunity to show off your project, meet the local New York Code Coffee organizers, and very likely meet me. And yeah, I'm sure many folks have probably always want to visit NYC, looked at the hotel prices, and were like, never mind. But luckily, if you win this, you don't have to worry about that. Joy-Con will provide the accommodations, the food expenses related to this, and yeah, have a good time in the Big Apple. November is a beautiful month, and make sure you bring a jacket.
Well, definitely, Steve. I wish I was a hacker, but having said that, yes, yeah, you heard it right, everyone. You'll get to like one US-based team get to win this prize category. How you can win it? What are the eligibility criteria? I'm gonna jump on that real quick. But you win a trip to NYC, opportunity to speak at next Korean Coffee meetup, and an invitation to attend JoyCon. Quickly, for all of you who is not aware, JoyConf is Storyblok's very own conference, and if you haven't checked it out yet, you can always go to joyconf.storyblok.com. We are hosting it in three cities: Amsterdam next month on 14th, 15th October, New York, and Los Angeles. We have an amazing lineup of speakers that is joining us for this conference, which are bringing a lot of excitement, a lot of experience, and so many great ideas onto the live stage that we will be having in different locations. If in case you want to check out the schedule, the agenda, it's live already, and these are all our partners. And if you are around any of these cities, I highly recommend you to sign up. It's completely free of cost, but the kind of experience that you're going to receive at these conference is going to be epic. So a quick plug on that, and in case you haven't checked it out, this is your time. Cool. And with that being said, back to the hackathon prizes. Now, I also want to talk about the judging criteria because these are all the prizes, but how you're going to get judged. For the first, like the top three prizes that we have, the first, second, and third, we have pretty straightforward judging criteria. First is innovation and creativity, how unique or original idea you're bringing to the table, how you're trying to solve the real world problem or an interesting problem that we have given to you, or how you're creatively using the technology or a feature around the project. Next is the execution and functionality. Edo, would you like to talk about this judging
Yeah,
criteria?
of course, of course. So the of course the project must be functional, must be well built. So we will judge how you will structure the project and the general quality of your build. So then you need to have good code structure and quality. So we'll not only judge the final product, how it works, but also the code. So the architecture of your project, code quality in general. And then if it involves technical depth or challenges. So if you solve uh, an interesting challenge. Like I was mentioning before, the React Native Live Preview one. That's just an example, but we have many other interesting challenges. But that one, for example, is particularly challenging. Again, sorry for the being repetitive. But again, if you solve like a hard challenge, that will also be something that we can judge.
Awesome, fantastic. And third, that goes without saying, is use of Storyblok. I mean, how important Storyblok is as part of your project? How effectively are you using its features or APIs? Not to forget, we have the workshop lined up just for this, so that you can understand how you can use it. So not to miss out. And then how you're demonstrating the understanding of the platform. Last but not the least is ease of use, because who doesn't like easy things or like with better or user-friendly interface, easy to understand or navigate. If you have like a clear demo that you're submitting for the submissions or any documentation that you have as part of your project. So these are like quick judging criteria that our judges are going to keep an eye on while evaluating for the top three prizes that we have for the hackathon. Algolia, of course, have their own judging categories, which you can find in their guidelines, which have been already shared with you. More on that super soon. But the judging criteria for the ChoiConf NYC Spirit Award. Now, this is a little different. First is very simple. All you need to do is successfully submit an eligible hackathon project on DevPost. I think it's easy because you're already participating, you're working with a team, you're going to submit the hackathon project before the deadline, you've already passed the first check mark. There's no more judging on this. Second is engagement. How are you participating? More importantly, actively during the hackathon. It could be you just showing up today in this opening remarks. You have like added a comment here, or you have introduced yourself in the live chat, or you have joined the workshop which is happening next week. You have asked some meaningful questions. You have been part of some of the hacker hangouts that is happening, or the mentorship hours that is happening on Discord, or any other discussion during the chat. The crux is that showing up is going to be important, or you engaging meaningfully is going to be something that will act as one of the judging criteria for this particular one. And I'll be checking around all these platforms and channels, and I'll be seeing all the hackers that we have coming up and engaging meaningfully. So that's the another one. Third is collaboration. Now, you can be working as a solo hacker or in a team of three, but apart from that, how are you helping the community out there? Now, we have so many hackers joining us for this hackathon. You might know something, someone else might know something, how you are like helping each other, how you are like sharing your experience, how you are like answering the question that others have. Even if you are able to do that on a community Discord server during the mentorship hour, you can be a mentor too for other team members or for other teams that are participating in the hackathon. So that is the collaboration. And last but not the least is community impact. During this month-long hackathon, if you are sharing your Storyblok journey or how have been your experience participating in this hackathon through your social media post, maybe you're writing a blog about it or sharing all of these things on any other medium, if you share that with us on the hackathon chat channel on Discord, this is how you can also get like eligible for this prize category. So it's not super tough, it's like pretty straightforward. All you need to do is show up in some or the other way and be actively engaged during the month. Uh, and that's it. That's all what's required for you to be eligible for the JoyConf NYC Spirit Award. Well, easy to go. Next up, we have the submission guidelines. Now, I think I I will keep iterating on this particular point that there are high chances that every one of the team could possibly push their submissions till the very end, and they're like waiting, and then things can go here or there, or you could miss out the deadline. And that is why we have two submission checkpoints for all of you during this hackathon. First is the soft submission, which will be on Friday, September 26th. Now, what do I mean by that? Will you be not able to submit your hackathon project after this? What's this about? No, it's very simple. So on your dev post, you can already start drafting all your project details and everything that needs to be there on your submission, and just click on the save button. And you can continue editing your projects even after this point until the hard submission and the hacking ends, which is on September 30, 23:45 EST. So make sure you keep an eye on soft submission and hard submission as well. Soft submission is just for you to make sure that you are saving your projects and soft submitting it, and you do not miss out on not submitting it after the hackathon ends. So make sure you do this. This will also help you avoid any last minute issues. It will also help organizers to prepare for the judging, allocate you to different judges, and so on and so forth. But as mentioned, you can still continue making your changes and edit your submissions before the hard submissions. And what are the requirements? This is very important. So please make a bookmark on this, make a note on this. Few things that we definitely not want you to miss out on while you're submitting your projects. To start with, very simple, your project overview. What are you building and why are you building? This is going to be very important. Second is, how are you using Storyblok in your project? Let us know about every detail. Third, we would want your project code so that we can review it. It must be public so that the judges, while reviewing your projects, can check it out. The code quality and everything that we mentioned earlier in the judging criteria as well. So make sure it is well structured and includes a setup instruction or a good and complete README file as well, so that it's easy to navigate and understand how your project actually works. We have a couple of more pointers. Maybe Edo, you wanna share some light on that?
Yes, you should mention the tech stack you used. So it means that you should mention everything in your full stack. So starting from the front end that you used to connect with Storyblok to display your UI or whatever you want your product to look like. So your front end technology, your front end framework, and then everything you used across the stack. So the backend, database, I don't know, some tools that you used. That you could also mention. So everything in the tech stack that is part of the project, and then I think I can also mention the next point, Sid. Okay, so you must include screenshots of your project. So while you walk across your project, you take screenshots and a demo video, 3 minutes or less. So you just use your project and showcase how it works. So yeah, don't make a video with static screenshots, but just a live video of your project working.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Edo. And I think I highly agree. Because it's a virtual hackathon and judges are not going to visit to your main like desks or tables or your rooms to judge your projects, it would be really, really important for you to explain about your project during this 3 minutes demo video. And make sure you're not just showcasing the PPT or slides, but actually showing the live demo or how your project is working. So that will be important. So judges can like watch that video and check out what you have built. And if you have the link to the live Storyblok space, feel free to share that as well. It's optional, but if you have it, it's always recommended. We also have a pro tip here, and I would like to ask a pro person to share that pro tip. Steve, would you like to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely make sure your submission is as detailed as possible to make sure the judges can fully evaluate your projects. Um, make sure, honestly, if you're doing a recording, have a script before you hop into your project to make sure that they can fully evaluate it, and get all they can out of those 3 minute or less demo videos. I don't know if we have a suggested provider for the demo recordings or screen recordings by chance, Sid, but what, yeah, if we have that, I think that is possibly the main barrier. But yeah, make sure detailed as possible helps judges and likelihood of winning.
Perfect, totally. Yes, you'll be able to find all the preferred platforms that we have for the screen recording and that kind of video link that you can share on the DevPost guidelines while you submit the hackathon. So feel free to check that out as well. But no, cool. Thank you so much, Steve, for sharing that one piece of advice there. And we have some cool judges joining us. First, it will be Edo, Daniel, and then we have Alistair, one of our amazing ambassadors, senior tech lead at University of East Anglia. We have Charles involved. He's a full stack developer at Trude and also an amazing Code and Coffee community
Oh, great.
member organizer. And then we have Chuck Mayer, senior manager at developer relations team at Algolia. So your projects will be judged from all these judges, and can't wait to see how that goes as well. Well, we talked about a lot of things, and it I can understand it must be a lot for everyone to catch up and take a note of all those things, and that is why we've tried to make life easier for all our awesome hackers and attendees, and that is why we have this ultimate hacker guide that we have prepared, which you can just save it on your tab or somewhere on your notes, and this is everything that you need. Whatever we have discussed in this opening remarks, whatever we have shared with you over Discord, over email, or anything else as well, you can find all the details here in this one big hacker guide. So make sure you check this out. Make sure you read all the details that are mentioned here, from the schedule to mentorship asks, problem statements, prizes, guidelines, every small details. It would be better if you stay informed, stay on track, so you do not lose any important details. We'll make sure to actively update you on Discord and via the email on DevPost so that you do not miss out on important things. But make the most out of this so that you can make the most out of your hackathon experience. Well, I think with that being said, it's time for me, Edo, and Steve to wish you all a very happy hacking. Enjoy your journey ahead throughout this month long. Make the most out of it. Stretch your possibilities. Come out of your comfort zone. Do something meaningful, and let us know how we can help you because we are here for that. And let's see what amazing ideas that you all can come up with. And I think that's from our end. Just to kind of put it out there. We are almost on the time, but before we actually end this live stream, uh, if Steve and Edo, if you had to give any like one piece of advice to everyone who is joining us, what would that be? Like a general piece of advice? Maybe
Yeah,
I can start with you, Steve.
yeah, definitely. In honor of the NYC Spirit Award, definitely engage, 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 and get involved with Storyblok's community. They're definitely one of the, yeah, they're our favorite sponsor at Code Coffee so far, and they're just amazing at building community, providing enough resources to support this entire hackathon, and just throwing dope community events. Um, Again, engage, engage, engage is my main tip out of this.
Yeah, and also focus on something that you can achieve in this month. And this is an advice it's valid for all hackathons, even for a month-long hackathon. So you do not try to build the next big thing, the next cursor. I don't know. Try to focus on something achievable, something that you can actually ship. So a full and working project is way better than a great idea, but with no code, no project. So focus on something that you can achieve. And of course, yeah, engage, talk with others, talk with us, talk with others, with other members, and share your knowledge, your challenges. Yeah, and good luck. Oh, and also if you
On
and also you should log every coffee that you drink. So at the end of the month, you have a log of all the coffees, and maybe that's also points for your project. So the more coffee you had, no, this is just for me.
Don't do that. Drink decaf. Don't drink decaf.
Yeah, no, this is interesting. Maybe I can find a way to give virtual coffee caffeine
Ooh,
points to our Discord members. Let me brainstorm on this, but
yeah,
cool
yeah.
idea.
People would love that.
But we want proof, so you need to attach a picture of yourself drinking.
Exactly. Yes. No, cool. Thank you so much for all those advices. And I think everyone who is joining in, all I can say is just live during this month long hackathon. Participate as much as possible. Try to understand the timeline. Try to set priorities. Have because you can divide it in 4 weeks, let's say, and set targets for yourself. Like first week, we are just gonna work on brainstorming, bringing in a lot of ideas to the table. Second week, we'll work on the approach. Third week, we are like polishing everything and making it live and like perfect. And fourth week we can like focus just on submission, demo videos and everything. So you can like divide your project or timeline into those things, but totally depending upon you, how you work, how you're collaborating with your team. If you're solo or working in a group of 3 people, it's recommended that you find the best way you can lead yourself as well. That was it from our side. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in, and we can't wait to see all the amazing ideas we bring to life. We'll be there on Discord in case you need us. Feel free to reach out. If you have any specific questions for the organizers, you can ask in the Ask Organizer channel. And for mentors, you can ask in the mentorship forum. And yeah, with that being said, see you around. Happy hacking. Thank you so much, Edo and Steve.
Ciao.
See
Bye.
you guys. Bye.